can see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Wednesday, March 20th, 2024, and this is episode 658 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled Well Played, Minneapolis, and I'll be chatting about how it's going to be getting harder to find a ride in Minneapolis, a disgruntled Walmart shopper, a few cool new products I've been messing around with, and much, much more. But first, let's check out the live feed, see who's hanging out in the coffee chat, grab a cup, and we'll hang out for about an hour. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we doing? Good morning, Jen. And Corey, Jen says good morning to you. She says, good morning back, Jen. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Pip in early as usual. Good morning, 2:25 in the morning, dude. How's the Camel Day treating you? It's treating me pretty good. Jen in early also. Jim, man, what did we have to get up and hit the head a little early or something? You rolled in before the show even started. Loco dropping the SOE live note in my chat. I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, he apologized. Wrong post, wrong chat, wrong socials. And Pickle Pete dropping in. Jim says, I just woke up. Was that a surprise that you woke up? I'm happy every time I wake up in the morning. So there's that. Good morning, Rewilder Life. How are we doing? Thanks for stopping in. Oh, yeah. A day. It is another day. We are here. Day 2 of my so this would be day three of my new attitude towards life and the dogs. I'll let you know how that's going also. But first, what's in the cup? Got my C4 delivery yesterday. That means new coffee. That means I got a nice variety of coffee in the box, and I shuffled it all up with what was up in the cupboard, because I started marking everything when it came in, just so I know, so something doesn't get buried. But you know what? The stuff that I get every month from Brian is so fresh that if it sits a month, it's still better than what you're going to get anywhere else. So I try to mix it up. I try to make it a nice flow. And this time I had a couple of stragglers left that were from the previous month. So I put them all in a pile, mixed them up, didn't look at the labels, and put them up in the cupboard. Finished that light Colombian today. It is the last French press of Hector the light Colombian, unless the next one randomly comes up as Colombian. But enjoying that Hector the light Colombian today. Yeah, if you haven't joined C4 yet, I'm not sure why not. You should definitely check out the coffee. Even if you don't want to join the club and you want to check out the coffee first, head on over to foodforestfarms.com, check out the coffee, grab some, talk to Brian about C4. It is about the best coffee club you're going to find, because it's coffee plus a ton more benefits. So come for the coffee, stay for the perks. Get it? Perks. Perking coffee, percolator. Yeah, never mind. Good morning, Hunter, over on Twitch. Thanks for stopping in and holding down the fort over there. K-Bonk, how we doing? Thanks for swinging in. And Loco says he's drinking the Highlands Arabica. Supply is low. Time for a reorder. Yeah, I have that reorder. It comes every month about mid-month, and it's one of my favorite days of the month. And it is good. Speaking of orders and stuff, before I roll into my list here, I forgot to put it on the list, but I met the new post office lady yesterday. If you followed the show for any length of time, you know that I have an immense affiliation, I guess, or affection or interaction or something, some sort of thing with the post office, because we get our mail general delivery. We don't have an address where we're parked right now, and so we use the general delivery process that you can use with the United States Postal Service. Basically, you can have mail delivered to any post office in the United States under the name General Delivery with your name and some sort of indication that you want it held there. You put the address of the post office, and yeah, it's a pretty slick thing, especially for someone that's traveling, someone that is traveling temporarily or full time. We found this very valuable one time when we were coming down to SRF, and Toolman Tim and I did a couple of different runs of silver coins, and the guy that was making them, that was he was trying to get them out so we could have them in hand for SRF. We really wanted them here, but they weren't going to be done in time to ship them to Minnesota and then me get them and drive them to Tennessee. So when I was talking to him, I was like, okay, well, I've done this general delivery thing. And a load of silver coins coming, that's it's kind of a spendy package. And I was like, I don't know. I think it might have been the first time that we actually tested out this method. Yeah, just throwing it out there. Huge load of silver coins. And I think it was both mine and Tim's, if I recall right. One of the orders, I got both of them so that they didn't have to get shipped separately, because we were going to be in the same spot at the same time. And yeah, it worked out great. But if you're ever traveling, you're ever going into town for business or pleasure or whatever, and you don't have a place to receive mail and you need to get something for some reason, consider general delivery. Wow, everything is just bouncy today, guys. I'm sorry about that. That comes with living in a camper too. No address and bouncy bounce with the dogs jumping all over the place. But anyway, because of general delivery, because of using that, and because also that I've gotten into getting products to review and make videos and stuff like that on Amazon, I'm getting a lot of packages. There are a lot of companies, and I'm going to talk about a couple of the things I've gotten recently that I'm really high on, actually, really stoked about. Some of the things I've been getting are meh. I mean, they're all right, but there's a couple things I got in the last week or so that I really like. But I'm getting packages daily, every other day, a couple times a week, and I don't get tracking on those. A lot of the things that I order, most of the things that I order, I know are coming. I know about when they're going to get there, or I have a tracking number. But since I started requesting sample products to test and review, they just send them. They're like, yeah, we sent them. And I don't expect tracking. I don't, that is what it is. Some of them provide it, but a lot of them don't. So basically, I stop at the post office every day. Drive by, pop in, just pop my head in. It's never really busy. And I'm just like, hey, they know me. And I had for the longest time when we were here. So we're coming up on being here about a year. And that was our plan, was to be here to experience all the seasons. And we're making some decisions right now on the results of that experiment. But for the first majority, so probably I would say the first 7 months we were here, I had the same post office lady. She was so nice. We got along very well. I hooked her up with coffee samples and this and that, and I appreciated all the help she gave. She was super nice, went the extra mile for me, offered to stay open late and this and that for different things, for different situations. And I was really grateful for that. And then one day she says, well, I'm moving locations. And so she was moving on to 2 different post offices locally, closer to her home, but she had finally got a transfer that she had wanted to a different post office. And I was upset. I was like, oh man, what am I'm going to get somebody that doesn't like me or is just doesn't want. I mean, she was so pleasant that I didn't mind going. Um, but I've interacted with a lot of postal workers that are just like, meh. And I'm like, I got to go talk to these people every day. I want them to be happy. Well, there's been three, actually. Two main women have been her replacement, and they've kind of split the time up. They've been super nice. Yeah, I can't complain. And then there was another gentleman that was covering some days. He's been fine. But yesterday I got to meet the new hire. And I was like, I walked in and there were two people behind the counter, and I was like, hey, how's it going? Do I have any mail today? She's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, okay, cool. I knew I did because I had tracking on this one. But the new person is like kind of following around, and I'm like, oh, somebody's getting trained in. And they came over to the counter, and she's like, this is going to be your new postal clerk. And I'm like, oh, hello, nice to meet you. She goes, this guy, he comes here every day. He usually knows if he has anything. He's always getting general delivery. He's super nice. Sometimes he brings treats and everything. And I'm like, oh, wait, thanks for setting the bar high there, but appreciate it. Good morning, Kyle. How we doing? Backwoods Butcher in the house. Phil, the Nomad, Mike, the Philippine Nomad. Phil Nomad. This guy has been around since the very beginning, way back on Float, if you remember that interesting experiment. But Mike has been around since the beginning. His screen name is Phil Nomad, and I've called him Phil Nomad. I've called him Phil since the beginning, and I think I always will. But he says he sent some Silver Bullet blend to his sister for her birthday, and she loved it. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for ordering that Food Forest Farms, and the fact you're over in the Philippines and can't get it directly sucks. But I appreciate you supporting the cause and sending some out to your sister. Backwoods Butcher says, this is the homeless guy who comes in. We feel bad. I don't think he has friends. He's got imaginary internet friends that he talks about. And he's getting all this mail from people, and we're not sure, and he never knows what it is. I always like grab a package that I don't know what it is. I don't have a tracking or expecting anything, or I'm expecting a bunch of stuff and I don't know what's what. And I grab it, and I'm always like, I wonder what this is. And they look at me like, what do you mean you don't know what you're getting in the mail? I'll look at the return address and see if I recognize the company name. Yeah, sometimes no. The other day, check this shit out. The other day, Backwoods Books. Backwoods Butcher says, whisper, I always check to see if they're ticking. I should start shaking them, listening to them when I get them. The other day, I think it was Monday, I rolled in and what did I get? Oh, okay, yeah. Good morning, Chris Dixon. He listens close. How's the oh god. I'm not going down that road. It was actually the water bottle I'm going to show you in a little while. Came in Monday, and it was in a very recognizable box. I was like, oh, I know what that is, because the owner of that company on Amazon has been interacting with me quite a bit, which is cool. When the owners of the company are super involved, it's not just like, oh, here you go, fuck it. They're really interested in the content you're making, building a relationship, and I think that's really the way I want to go. And then as that relationship builds and they see value in having me do content, then maybe we move away from Amazon, or we stay there and they just keep sending me cool stuff. But anyway, they sent me this water bottle. I knew it was coming. I had the tracking, and I recognized the package. I was like, oh, that's my water bottle. I'm excited about that. Try that out. But she hands me this other package, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. And I didn't recognize the company name. I didn't recognize the company name. And so I go out to the truck, and normally I just drive home and open the stuff unless I don't know what it is. And I'm like, well, see what this is. Maybe I'll throw it right in the dumpster on the way home. So I open this package, and it's a package inside a package. You know how Amazon is. I pull it out, and I'm looking at it, and it says silicone stove cover. And I'm like, I don't know. The weird part is I request products that I know I can use here that would probably go along well with full-time RVing, camping, homesteading, things like that, like gear, lights, tools, anything that would fit into my life that I could reasonably look at and make a decent review about, have a decent opinion about. I don't know why everything is bouncing so much today. It's bothering the shit out of me. Sorry, guys. I gotta fix this. Riveting. Riveting. So I only really request things that I think I can use. So I'm looking at this silicone stovetop thing cover. And I'm like, what is this? So I open the box further, the packaging that the actual product's in, and I pull it out in the truck, and it's like a thick silicone mat, and the instructions were like taped on the outside of the plastic. Corey's doing the 80s aerobics in the back. No, I'm pretty sure it's the dogs are itching, but maybe not. Maybe not. What's that? Oh yeah, the big one in the back. He's itching. That's what was going on. Or Corey's doing aerobics. I don't know. Maybe Chris is right. She says almost. She's knitting, so she's beyond the 80s aerobics. She's into her 80s while she's knitting. So I pull this thing out, sweating to the oldies. So I pull this silicone thing out, and the instructions are on the package, and like I feel it. I'm like, what is the hell is this? Well, it was a cover for the glass stovetops, so that you can put it down and then you can use it as like a counter, I guess. Now, I said that I only request products from companies or products that I think I can use, that I can break stuff came up on shuffle. Norman's moshing in the back. I only order stuff I only request stuff that I think I can use, and at least do a review and then get rid of it, or but like, what am I going to do with a silicone top for a flat top stove when I don't have a flat top stove, first of all? So I'm like, okay. The other thing that happens is I request things from these companies, and they have multiple items listed on the kind of where I find them. It's a kind of a clearinghouse for companies looking for people to do promotions and this and that. And sometimes they have multiple things listed. So when I say, hey, you want to send me out some free samples? They're like, sure. And they just send whatever they want. I mean, it's their prerogative to send whatever they want. But not necessarily the thing that I might have looked at. And lack of communication, either on my part or on their part. They just send what they have. I'm waiting right now. I got a trunk organizer and a lumbar support cushion for an office chair that I'm waiting to do a reviews on. That I just talked to the company about getting a flashlight, and they ended up sending me a trunk organizer and a lumbar cushion set. So that kind of shit happens. So I'm like, what? The first thing I'm thinking about is like, how am I going to do a review video about something I don't even have the thing? I'm like, what am I going to do? And I really feel responsible if a company sends me something to at least try it. I never promise them that I'm going to do a positive review on anything. Chris Dixon says a trunk organizer for your truck bed. Exactly. The trunk organizer actually is going to work out well in the back seat, because I don't have back seats in my truck. I just have a platform for the dogs that I tore the seats out and put a flat platform for them. So it probably will work really well back there because things just kind of accumulate back there in the back seat. What's not a seat? But I try to only get the things that I can reasonably use. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing? How am I going to do a video? And so I'm sitting there in the post office parking lot, and I'm looking at it, and I look at the label to see what company it was from, just to try to figure out where the hell this thing came from. And the label says John Smith. I don't know what the name was. I didn't commit that to memory, but it was P.O. Box 190, and then the post office thing, the post office address. And I'm like, yeah, this wasn't for me. Interesting. So I kind of really gently put it back into the packaging, and I put it back into the shipping box, and I fold it over, and I walk back in, and the post office lady's there, and I like, this isn't the new one. This was the day before the new one started. And I said, hey, I think you gave me someone else's package. She's like, oh my God, what? She's like, it was right there with yours. I said, yeah, this guy is in P.O. Box 190 or 150 or 170. I'm not sure what it was. And I think he gave it to me because when it doesn't fit into their P.O. box, they stick it in the same area as the general delivery. And she just grabbed everything there. She says, oh my God, thank you so much for bringing that back. And I'm like, well, it wasn't mine. I hope the guy isn't mad that I opened it. Like I barely opened it. It all fit back in the package. All right. She grabs the tape and she's like shutting it, taping it shut. And I'm like, oh, that's how all my packages get all fucked up in the mail, huh? But no, she was blown away. She was blown away that I would bring the thing back to her. Like, and I'm like, why wouldn't I? Dixon says mail theft is real. I mean, I know the porch pirates and everything are real, but legitimately, I go in here every day. This is the thing that goes through my mind. I'm not going to steal something in the first place. Like, I'm just going to naturally, I would just bring it in if it's not mine. Like, people make mistakes. I'm not going to make someone else suffer by someone making a mistake. She obviously just grabbed the wrong box. But like, I have to go in here every day. I have to talk to this woman every day. And I have to know in my brain, in my heart, that I took something that wasn't mine. And this lady probably had to deal with some guy going, hey, my tracking from Amazon says this was delivered. Where is it? And the lady's like, I don't know. And then we have this weird, awkward thing because she's going to be like, I think I might have given it to that guy. Like, just avoid it and be honest and take the shit back. If it's not yours, take it back. Take it back. Save somebody's day. Anyway, good morning, Blakesley Acres. Thanks for swinging in. Jen G says she'd bringing it back too. Yeah. Logo says they had a lot of damaged open parcels to repack at UPS. Yeah. I get some real beauties here, especially when they miss delivery time and it's got to go back and forth between boxes. And you can tell the drivers like, son of a bitch, I'm so sick of this guy having to get shit at the post office. And he's like punting the boxes back and forth to the trucks, having to put it on for the next day. Yeah, I can tell that for sure. Pip says, don't bring that karma on yourself. I mean, there is that. Jim says it would depend on the color of the mat if it goes with this decor or not. But you're so close to end of life, Jim, that like you bad karma is what it is. You're already set in, I think. You've been around so long. Well, that's a good 24 minutes that wasn't on my list here, but let's get to it. If anybody is headed to Minneapolis, I suggest you don't, just in general. Not because of what I'm going to talk about in a second, but just because the city is an absolute shithole. and it's getting worse and worse and worse. The whole the St. George riots and everything, and the election of very utopian idealists that ran the city council. I don't know if you remember where they were going to defund the police in Minneapolis and all the whole deal. Well, they kind of did, and crime is absolutely rampant, just like any major city, I guess. But Minneapolis, it's just like spiraled out of control. They've actually made a movie about it, The Death of Minneapolis. There's some movie. So I didn't watch it because I don't care anymore. But yeah, there is a documentary movie about the downfall of how bad Minneapolis has gotten. Jim says he's barely going to make it through the show. Dixon says, I don't think they make wood grain silicone masks. Loco says, could the Twin Cities be any worse than San Fran Freak Show or Hell A? I mean, it's on its way, man. It's on its way. I've heard friends that are still back there. I kind of keep in touch with some people that are still around. And I still keep in touch with some people that are in the service tech industry that drive kind of all over the place. And they said a lot of Minneapolis is turning into what they picture if you took Mogadishu and moved it to the northern climate. Gangs and drug lords and good block, bad block, and it's really bad. And there isn't the law enforcement. I don't give a shit. But there's nobody to rein them in, and it's kind of yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Pip says heard a state that wants to outlaw house painting and makes it need a permit. Yeah, there is that too. There is that. So Minneapolis is pretty much spinning out of control. Dixon says I'm sold. He's moving to Minneapolis. Not only do you get to deal with the cold, you get to deal with the shit too. But anyway, so if you're going there, I mean, unless you have to, I get it if you have to. It's a big convention. It's a big convention center city. Their tourism was one of the biggest things. They built that brand new big old football stadium that the whole county and state are paying for. That I haven't even seen it with my own eyes, other than driving by on the highway. But I was paying for it. Awesome. So Minneapolis is rough, but it's going to get worse. It is going to get worse. May 1st, Uber and Lyft are taking off and going. They're leaving Minneapolis. You would say, why is Uber and Lyft leaving Minneapolis? Because of all the gang violence, because of all the carjackings, because it's not safe? I mean, that'd be a good guess, I think. That'd be a good guess. A good guess. But you would be wrong. Loco says, do they still have the Mall of America? Yes, they do, but it's in Bloomington. That wasn't ever really in the city. It's close, but it's not in Minneapolis. You would think that it would be a safety factor that Uber and Lyft are fearful for their drivers. But no, Uber and Lyft will be leaving Minneapolis on May 1st because the city of Minneapolis decided to tell them that they have to pay their drivers more. In a peer-to-peer setting where the employees have the choice to show up and work when they want. And as far as I'm understanding, Uber and Lyft, when you drive for either one of those, you can accept or accept or decline anything on. You can be logged onto the app. You can work when you want. No one is making you show up from 8 in the morning and work till 5 in the evening. It's kind of like do it when you want. The city of Minneapolis didn't like how much the drivers were making, so their board that I talked about, the ones that are super idealistic, utopian, and woke, decided, the same people that decided to defund the police decided to vote that they're going to force Uber and Lyft to raise their rates. Well, that's good, guys, right? They're going to get those people that get those people that aren't making a living wage need to get their increase in pay. Backwoods Butcher says that seems like a good plan. Well, that seems like a good plan. And it would be a good plan. And other than the fact that Uber and Lyft are like, fuck you. We don't have anything here. That's the great thing about Uber and Lyft. They come in and they say, hey, anybody want to drive for us? And people go, yeah, I want to drive for you. And they get the app and they start delivering people here and there. But when Minneapolis says, hey, Uber and Lyft, we want you to pay your people more. And they're like, nah, we're just going to turn the app off in your city. So now they're going to be making zero. First of all, that's one thing. So Minneapolis it's the same thing with the $15 an hour fast food folks. Like, here's your raise to $15 an hour, and we're going to fire half the employees because we had to double the wage. It's like all math. Like, just stop thinking that it's not math. But the worst part is not that all those people are not having income now because they're just going to shut off those apps on May 1st. And the bigger problem I saw was, who is going to transport all these people around? In the city, in Minneapolis, there's this huge push, like parking ramps, parking spaces, everything is through the roof. People were finding it less expensive to use Uber and Lyft, a regular taxi, public transportation. If you're in the cities, like I said, they have a huge convention center, and they have lots of events where people come into the cities. They use the Ubers and Lyfts, and it's a very convenient thing. The problem is the people are still going to be coming, but there's going to be no Uber and Lyft. And you're like, but Brian, you said there's taxis. Yeah, there are taxis. I used to see them all the time. I was in the cities bartending before Uber and Lyft were a thing, like before it was even a concept. And there were cabs everywhere. And just to point out what has happened to the cabs since Uber and Lyft came in, and this is what happens because it's what should happen. The number of cab drivers registered in the city of Minneapolis in 2014. Wow, I'm old. I'm old. Me? At least I was born almost in the 80s. In 2014, the number of registered taxi drivers in the city of Minneapolis was 1,948. Holy shit. Well, they went into the suburbs. There's a lot of big first ring suburbs in the cities, in the Twin Cities there. They kind of, I would guess they shifted to St. Paul, Minneapolis, all the greater metro area. And yeah, so 2014, 1,948 drivers. I want you to drop into the comments, how many taxi drivers do you think are registered in Minneapolis right now in 2024? On the preface, I can't say the goddamn thing with my tooth missing. I'm sorry. on the eve of Uber and Lyft pulling out of the city. So pre Uber and Lyft 2014, there were 1,948 taxi drivers. 1,948 before Uber and Lyft. Uber and Lyft came in, and they're going to take some away. They're going to take some away. Now Uber and Lyft are being forced to leave. Well, they're not being forced. They're choosing to leave because Minneapolis is stupid. Rewilder Life says there's half. That would be 824. Gen G says 15. little different there. Pip says 666. K-Bong says 0. Last census of the registered taxi drivers in the city of Minneapolis right now, 39. Not 139, not 1,039, not 839, 39, 039. Oh, let's reference it to the number I started with, 0039. Now, I understand that a lot of them probably are Uber and Lyft drivers, and they're going to lose their job, and they're going to go right back to the cab company. I get this. This is shock numbers. This was from the news article that was like really driving home the fact. I mean, I get this. I get the social media aspect and the news aspect of making numbers look exaggerated. I understand, but 1,948 to 39. And now all the transportation is going to go away. Dixon says Brian misses Minnesota. You can tell. God, I hate that place. Hunter says, do they bid for medallions? No, that's New York City. That's New York City. But I'm sure that that some of the city council is getting greased by the taxi cab people that are down to 39 drivers. They still I don't know what's going on in St. Paul. Now this is something I didn't dig into. I was just looking at those numbers going, holy crap, this is going to be a shitstorm. I don't know what happens now. Pip says Uber left Minnesota and went to Gulch Gulch. Yep. That's another thing I've been looking at, and I haven't gotten it on the show topic list yet, but where the hell are all the employees? That's something I've been really digging into, taking notes on. Where did everybody go? Every place has a job for hire sign in the window, and no one has a job. I shouldn't say no one. Corey's working. Pip's working. Jen, I don't know. I see a lot of people in this group have their own businesses, but it appears that they've disappeared. Jab, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, one thing that I wondered about, and that I'm not sure how it would work. There were plenty of people, and I've taken a cab there. I've taken a cab from outside of Minneapolis into Minneapolis. So is there going to be a fence around Minneapolis to where the Uber and Lyft drivers coming from St. Paul or Bloomington or the first ring suburbs or the outer ring suburbs are the Uber and Lyft, because the airport is in Bloomington also. The airport is in Bloomington. So if Uber and Lyft pick up somebody at the airport in Bloomington and drive the 8 miles to the Minneapolis city limit, what happens? Are they not allowed to now operate unless they charge higher wages? Is the Uber driver going to be like, yeah, I'll take you to Minneapolis, kind of? And they like drive you up and they drop you in South Minneapolis, like in the fucking ghetto. They're like, yep, can't go any further. Thanks, Minneapolis. And they just drop you off. Your wage is going to be $21. Thanks. Like, how does that go down? Because everything I read isn't Minnesota. It's only Minneapolis. Hmm. Interesting. Let's see. Chris Dixon says maybe they're making knit hats in a trailer somewhere. No, man, they're the knit hats. The knit hats. The tote is full, ready for next winter. When you start making them at the end of winter, it is what it is. We kind of knew that going in. Sold a couple, and then they went into storage for next year. Or I will bust them out at SRF, and hopefully we get a cold snap, and people need hats. Jim says he works sometimes when he feels like it. Hunter says half the time I think that the help wanted sign is an excuse for slow service. It's not an excuse, dude. If it's a business that's been hit by any of this minimum wage bullshit, they have the help wanted sign because they can only hire part-time because they can't afford the labor that they're being forced to pay because it's not in their business model. They were actually probably running where they needed to be profitable. And when they were told they had to pay more, they said, well, I can only pay $100 a week. If that's $10 a week or $20 a week, it is what it is. My labor cost is what I can afford. So they do need help. They don't have any money to hire anybody, is what I'm guessing. Jen says they quit or retired. Too much BS with the scandemic. Yeah. Pickle Pete's working in his PJs. Rewilder Life says I surround myself with folks that have goals. What are you doing here? I don't know. Pickle Pete says if you pick up or drop off in Seattle, it's a higher rate. Pip says, and this is a good point. Pip says they also list ghost jobs that they're actually never ever going to hire for, because that keeps the current employees that are underwater because they're working so hard because they can't afford to hire a full staff. It keeps them thinking that, yeah, we might be full staff. We're hiring. We're trying. Rachel says that's the thing locally with her. I know of several places that are trying to hire and they can't. One has people quitting faster than they can hire. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Pip says, ask me how I know. Pickle Pete says Dick's Burgers wouldn't let me flip burgers without a jab. So lots of folks cycle through that, say no way. Yeah. I don't know. Man. It's a mess. Let me see what else is on this list here before we it's enjoying the show this morning, guys. It is what it is. What is on? Oh, Walmart. We talked about yesterday or the day before. We talked about Walmart Plus. John Palmer dumped in the Telegram group, I think, or it was the comments before we finished up. Said he's been paying for Walmart Plus for about a year and making more or saving more than it costs monthly. And after I thought about it, I was like, okay, yeah, that's makes sense because I save a shitload on my Kroger Plus membership and I don't pay for it. Well, I do. They steal my data and they tell companies what I'm buying at Kroger, but I just buy food. So okay, whatever. So that got me thinking about Walmart. And Corey sent me, Corey's kind enough that when she's flipping through her TikTok and when she gets anything other than puppies or animals, or Kyle sending her puppies and animals on TikTok and that stuff, when she gets something that is relevant to my show other than puppies and animals, she'll forward it to me. She also forwards me the puppies and animals. I think she's making a play to get a new animal soon. She's back there saying yes, like Dr. Evil. Me? So she sends me one yesterday. She's like, "Hey, I sent you one that you might be able to use for your show." And I happened to be thinking about the Walmart Plus thing when I got it. It was a TikTok of this dude at Walmart. Dixon says, "Fuck Walmart." Kmart sucks, Ray. Kmart sucks. Jim's wondering if Walmart gas stations, same price as Sam's. The Walmarts in Minnesota used Murphy USA, and then shifted to BP. But I believe that was a local parent company that owned all the gas stations at the Walmarts in Minnesota. I don't know. Jen says she adores Corey. So do I. She's mine. You can't have her. Shit. Anyway, this dude's standing at Walmart, and this guy is like, the TikTok says something like on the screen. It says something about I decided to go to shopping at Walmart today. And this is what I see. And he's back. You can tell he's back behind all the checkout lanes. And this dude is just standing in front of all the checkout lanes, like where you're walking out to the door, with a machete and a cigarette. And he's just holding a machete, smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, what is he doing? Like, at first I thought the dude was like buying a machete and he was just happened to be holding it. And some guy was trying to get a viral video. It's like, oh, this guy's attacking people with a machete. But actually it looked like he was just standing there with the machete with a glazed look in his eyes. And I'm like, I keep watching. And no shit, the dude was like trying to hold up a Walmart, maybe. I don't know what he was doing there. It didn't really say what he was doing, but he's standing there with a machete and a cigarette. And all of a sudden he starts getting down on the ground, and you like see behind you could see barely behind one of the checkout things. There's a cop standing there drawing down on him. I don't know if he had a taser or a gun, if it was real popo or the fake Walmart popo. But this dude, all of a sudden, he just gets down on the ground. Like, what were you doing? What are you doing in Walmart with a machete? Like, what was your goal? What was this guy's intent? Jim says, no, I'm not buying this machete. It's mine. It came in with me. Like, why are you, what are you, I guess if you're doing this, you're not really mentally stable. So we can't really apply logic to figure out why he's doing what he's doing. But I'm trying to figure out what went through this dude's head when he's like, oh, I'm going to go into Walmart with my machete. Is he going in to chop people up? Like, is he mad at the manager? Did the manager not want to talk to him because he didn't have a Karen haircut? I don't know. This is a big, fat white dude just hanging out with a machete. I don't know. So he was kind of disgruntled, but I'm always curious. When people do that shit. Like, what did you think you were really going to accomplish? Gen G said he was bummed about the change with the self-checkout. I will not pay to self-checkout myself. I want to self-checkout myself. And so here I'm going to chop up the self-checkout machines. I think I would have brought a hammer. I think a hammer or a sledgehammer or a firearm would probably be more effective. I don't know. You guys remember the the two cops and the paramedic that got shot in Minnesota a couple weeks ago. I talked about it on the show, like why they had this huge funeral when 17 other people that day died at work. Pip says in that case he's bringing his nunchucks. Here, I'm gonna bring my nunchucks too, Pip. we could storm Walmart with our nunchucks. So the two cops and the paramedic that were shot on a call in Minneapolis or south of Minneapolis in Burnsville. I see it now on all my Minnesota things is referred to as the Burnsville shooting. Like they didn't shoot 4 people in Minneapolis last night. Just happened to not have a shiny badge and a costume on. Anyway, it appears that this might be the end around for Minnesota to really, really push in, ram that gun control up people's asshole. I saw a news story that they are federally charging the guy that shot the cops and the paramedic. They're federally charging her with making a straw purchase for her boyfriend because he couldn't legally buy a gun, but she bought the gun. And we're not sure if she bought it for him or she had it before him or she was maybe buying it to protect herself from him. But he took the gun and shot the cops, and now she's getting federally charged. And I'm guessing some advantageous prospering young liberal in Minnesota is going to go, oh, look at this. We have a reason to keep people from buying guns in Minnesota because, they could buy them and then their boyfriend might shoot cops or paramedics. Wait for it. It'll be there. Chris Dixon says I get tased for my paracord fidget spinner. I'm gonna walk into Walmart. I'm gonna be like, "Hiya, on guard!" Just messing around, and some Walmart security officer is gonna plug me right in the fucking back. Pip says if I go get the turtle from Delinquent Scully, we can beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nice. Oh, nice. Let's see. Couple of products I want to show you here real quick. You might think about. You can find reviews of these on the YouTubes or my Amazon storefront at amazon.com/shop/the Lots Project. Middle-aged Ninja Turtles. Jim says, headline, crazy homeless guy shot by local police when he attacks Walmart employee with a toy. Yeah. Mike the Philippine Nomad says the multi-tool review was good. You talking about the first one or the second one? Because as a tier member, Philippine Nomad gets early access to all the videos that end up getting scheduled. And I did put up another video of this multi-tool. I realized from an awesome comment from somebody, thanks anyway, that I didn't show all the tools. I just listed what the tools were. It was supposed to be a quick, just read it off thing. And so I was like, screw it, I'll make another video. My original multi-tool video didn't get approved on Amazon. I don't know what I said. I don't know what triggered the rejection. Doesn't matter. I just made another one yesterday. And this one did turn out better. And it was also an A/B test because for some reason that multi-tool video got like 1,900 more views than my normal videos get randomly. So I'm doing a little testing. If the video changes and all the tags and everything stay the same and it does the same, I might be onto something, but I don't know. Anyway, this multi-tool, it is what it is. I love my Leatherman OHT. I've carried it for forever. I don't know. I'm pretty biased on multi-tools, but this one is pretty nice. It's I think it'd be great and cheap enough to throw in a bug out bag, in a car go bag, in a car emergency kit, in your spare tools, your emergency stuff. Like I think it's quality enough. But that wasn't what I wanted to talk about. That wasn't what I was super excited about. There you go. I think it was the way I was holding it, Chris. Chris says, "Holy shit, that looks huge. You must have small hands." No, it's pretty normal size. Um, Sorry, guys. It's actually smaller than my OHT, but my OHT being the one hand design and the slide out pliers, that can't beat that. You'll never get me to go away from this unless they stop making it, which gets harder to find. So it is what it is. But this multi tool is pretty cool. It is what it is. It's a $35 multi tool. But the things I'm excited about, one was this water bottle. I've been using the same water bottle, and yes, it needs stickers real quick. I got a bunch sitting here. I've been looking for someplace to put them, and it's going to be on this real quick after I use it a little bit. But it's a double walled vacuum sealed water bottle, 32-inch, 32-inch or 32-ounce water bottle. Comes with 3 different lids depending on how you like to drink your water out of that big hole. It also comes with the little one, like the sports jug, like that, and also the sippy straw kind. And it also comes with an extra straw and straw brush. Really cool, really cool. Brian baby hands, yep, doll hands. Ha 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 ha, dude. I got decent sized hands. My fingers are just short. Dixon says it's a Stanley without a handle or the leaking in lead. Yeah, no lead. That is one of their things. No BPAs, no lead. And the company's really cool. The guy was really solid. I've been chatting with him a lot. He's he's trying to build a brand and fighting against like Ozark and Yeti and Stanley and all those. So that's the Revelist 32-ounce stainless bottle. Feels super quality. I have yet to fill it up. I was waiting to do the video. Just seeing what you got with it. I'm gonna start using it. I can't see why it wouldn't function. It's a fucking bottle. The other thing that I've been kind of messing around with that I really like is this Rocket book. Take your tinfoil hats off for a second. Take your tinfoil hats off. Understand that everything we do on our phones, we talked about yesterday, it's listening, it's showing me puppy commercials when we ask for them, it's showing me fucking rubber glove commercials when I mention in the camper anywhere that I needed rubber gloves, nowhere near the TV, nowhere near my phone, and then it's showing me rubber glove commercials. So don't think about you're sending your shit to the cloud. You're sending your shit to the cloud anyway. What this is a blank notebook. No, not that page. That's the first page. But there's grid lines in it. It's really hard to see on here because it glares. It is kind of shiny. But this uses the Pilot friction ink, basically erasable ink, kind of. You use these pens. They come in a variety of different pens. You can pick up the pens for anything, really. It doesn't necessarily have to be this notebook. But you write on the notebook. You let it sit for 15 minutes or less. I found out that it's less so far, but it'll dry. You can then scan it. You can see here in the corner, there's a QR code, and then you can't see them. They're light. You can see the symbols here, but there's symbols across the bottom of every page. you can link these symbols with different places like your email address, your Google Drive, your Slack account, all sorts of different things that you would use for note taking. And using their app can basically point your camera at the page and it will send it automatically to wherever you want. So like if you're doing Loco says like whiteboarding, yes and no. Yes, kind of, no. It's not a whiteboard. They also make a model. So this one to clean, it came with a microfiber cloth, and I think you could just use any microfiber cloth. But you get this wet, and it will wipe clean. But without it getting wet, it dries on there. They also make a model that to clean it, you microwave it. Interesting. I haven't gotten one of those yet. But yeah, I'm thinking this would be really cool if you're working on projects with a team. If you're working on, hey, John Palmer, how we doing? Thanks for stopping. If you're working on, I was talking with Carrie Brown about it. I was like, how about this notebook? It's 32 pages. So it's a significant amount before you have to start erasing to use it more. But in Carrie's business, being a permaculture consultant, doing on-site field work, taking notes and stuff like that, and having different destinations, as in maybe different clients or a master client, because you can change them at will. You take your notes, you draw your diagrams, you snap it with your phone, it goes to your digital file. You go to the next job, you take your notes, you draw a diagram, you do whatever, you doodle, whatever you need to do, you snap it. While you're taking your break, you do your grocery list and you mark my personal file, snap it. When the notebook gets full or you need to start a new whatever, all you do is wet that cloth and wipe it clean and start again. So I think it's pretty cool. It took me less than 3 minutes to get the app set up to do a test message and send it. And man, it showed up. I set it up with Google Drive and it showed up in under 20 seconds once I scanned it. Like I didn't even hit go. You can set an automatic function that once it detects that page, it sends it as a PDF or whatever document that you want. It also has handwriting recognition where you can, it will search. You can give it samples of your handwriting and it will search for, it'll search your handwriting, like writing to text, searching and copy paste. So I don't know. It seems like pretty cool. I've done an initial, like set it up, use it a little bit, just to make sure it functions and did a little video about it. I'm planning on to start using it for some different things and exploring it more, but I can't see why it wouldn't work for a variety of different applications, both for yourself, for a business, or for as an employee. If you have employees and you're looking for a way that they can share their handwritten notes and things like and drawings. Yeah. Chris Dixon says, all serious though, it's pretty cool. I could see the function in that. And that's what I did. I looked at it and I saw a lot of uses for it. Yeah. So got more cool products coming. You can always find all the reviews at the YouTube channel if you subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm trying to get one coming out Monday through Friday. Midday ish is usually the time it tells me to schedule those. So yeah, I think I have them ready to go for the rest of this week. And I got more products to do. So there's that, or you can check out the Amazon storefront. Like I said, amazon.com/shop/the-lots-project and find the review of that. If you're not a membership tier person, you got to wait every day for the new video to come out. If you are subscribed to any of those tiers, and I give away free memberships the first or second of every month, I shoot them out from YouTube. I don't get to choose who they go to. But yeah, you get those as soon as I upload them. And I usually do 2 or 3 in a day, and then they get spread out the next few days. So yeah, that's one of the benefits to joining the membership. Logo says, join the membership and enjoy the perks. The perks are you get this really cool thing next to your name for sure. I've gone through so many different ideas on perks, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough when it's tough to do stuff for nobody there. So I've just started adding blanket things across the board, and as if people join, we will Chris Dixon, come for the perks and stay because you forgot to cancel. That's my man. That's my man right there. At $1 a month, rolling in $2 a month. I don't know how much it is. There's levels all from zero. It kept bugging me to set them up. YouTube literally kept sending me messages to set this up. So I set it up and put it there. They take 40%. 110%, I prefer Zaps and value for value over YouTube memberships, but it is what it is. I don't hate money. So I put it up there and it is available for anyone that wants to sign up. Man, we're Grow Noster. Jim says Grow Noster. Yes, Grow Noster. And I'm still trying to figure out how to make that push there. Yeah. One thing at a time. Anyway, we're up over a minute, an hour and 6 minutes. Holy crap, we're rolling long, rolling into that Sensei scrambling on the West Coast over there in Seattle. Jumps on after I'm done. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up for today. We will continue tomorrow. I appreciate everyone listening. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit that like, share, and subscribe to return value for value. Please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers, hitting the super thanks or the super comments or whatever they are in the live feed chat, or listening on any value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. You can visit thelotsproject.com to find out more information about me or find my discount codes, partner companies, recommended products, all of that. And so much more. There's a shop over there where you can find t-shirts, coffee mugs, comfrey, and the like consulting services. It's if you have any questions, you can always email me at info@thelotsproject.com. Other than that, it is hump day, guys. If you work that normal work week, once today is over, you'll be on the downhill slide. Other than that, smush that thumb on your way out. As Chris Dixon says, I appreciate you watching again, guys. And man, we'll catch up with you in the morning.